Good morning, Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. Your morning horn of Z's, your sip of coffee. I had a lot of people ask me about what the hat was. This hat right here in the Three Amigos video, it's from Caddyshack. If you've seen this scene, it'll just crack you up. Check it out.
Orange balls. I'll have a box of those. Give me a box of those naked lady tees, and give me 2 of those. Give me 6 of those. Oh, this is the worst looking hat I ever saw. Well, you buy a hat like this, I bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh? Oh, it looks good on you, though.
Classic. I actually went to a Caddyshack party and ended up with a hat. So that's your answer to that. And on another light note, this is just hysterical. My buddy Jay Snip4, somebody had sent him a Crypto Wars picture with Cliff High, Jay Snip4, and me as Chewbacca. Just so funny. Go to the Realist News website, Jay Snip4, check out what he has to say about it. Just look at Luke. Look at Luke Skywalker. I mean, that's just classic Jay Snip4 right there. And then he does a Chewbacca whine, which I can't do. So maybe he should be Chewbacca. Not enough hair over there. Let's talk about also great interview with Gerald Slinte over at the street. And yeah, he gets it. He's a golden silver bug who is making the move to cryptos. Boom or bust. It's gonna run for a long time, my friends. Hopefully everybody knows that by now who watches my show, and no, it is not. Chris Dwayne came out with another video saying it's immoral to own Bitcoin. And then of course we have the Q&A with Lynette Zhang. A lot of people said to me, so you believe in what Lynette Zhang's saying about the ACC chain, so you still buy into the cryptos? No, I don't believe anything she says about the ACC chain and anything crypto related. Watch the latest Q&A with Lynette Zhang, and you can see how clueless she is on that front. I had just apologized to her for being so rude about how I voiced my opinion of her understanding of what's going on a hump day show. V gets me going, that's why. But that's the only thing I, apologize for. She's completely and utterly wrong, 100%. And, after all this time, it's been months, she still hasn't done any homework on what she's talking about, as you can tell. But she did get on Twitter today. So, yeah, go check it out. And I don't usually even comment on her or look at what she says, but somebody sent me this saying that Lynette Zhang is still trying to push the one world government ACC chain, and she has zero clue about what she's talking about. So I don't even watch it, but I do have something to say. And that has to do with what makes good money. If you ask anybody, gold, silver bug, fiat banker, anybody, any start of a monetary discussion should start at the best form of exchange, best form of money is a barter system. And that is exchanging, it's peer-to-peer, goods, my goods for your goods, and we'll exchange it. The problem comes in, the bread maker versus the house builder, and how so money is needed to make that transaction. But that's kind of where I am as far as what these cryptos represent. There's your cryptocurrencies, which represent a replacement of the old monetary system. And yes, there can be a lot of them. How many unbacked fiat money systems are there today? There's, I don't even know how many countries have their own currency. The United States uses paper money, electronic money, metal money. And, the United States currency is different than Canadian currencies. So each country, yes, each country will probably have some kind of digital form of blockchain-related monetary system. I got no problem with that, and they should, because if it's done properly, where it is a honest and open blockchain that is mined, and the same thing goes on, it's decentralized and the government doesn't have control of creating more of it. I don't think that'll happen. I think the governments will keep control of want to have control of their monetary system, but they're going to have to be more honest about it. And that's where the blockchain comes in. But they'll always give themselves the ability to print more of it, and that's the problem with human nature. So they probably won't be very successful, and they might just go away altogether because we got these open and honest decentralized ones that we can use anyway. So we'll see what happens on that front. I don't think any government will ban or outlaw the use of cryptocurrencies or the development of companies and tokenized exchanges within companies. I think what China says is, just trying to clean up their markets, just like they did with the exchanges back in December. The volumes on the Chinese exchanges have gone to almost nothing. They've gone to where they should be. They were trading like millions of Bitcoin every day, and no, they didn't have it to trade. So a lot of manipulation still, but it's early days, and we're still in the innovator stage, and we're not even at the early adopters of the cryptocurrencies. But the theme of this discussion gets back to the barter system. Everybody can agree that the barter system would be the best. I exchange my value, something I hold as valuable, versus you exchange something you hold as valuable, and we're the only people involved in that transaction, and that's all you need. Barter is the way to go, but it can't happen with a baker and a house builder. It couldn't happen, let's say. Now it can, amazingly. And this is where I want to get into the difference between a cryptocurrency, which is a replacement for money, and a token or tokenized ecosystem. Now, if you look at the companies that are being built and the tokens that are going with these companies, the tokens are meant to be used within that ecosystem. The pillar token or the populous token is meant to be used within the populous ecosystem of receipt factoring. And basically, small businesses need cash flow. They have outstanding receipts. They can get cash through that system. So within that system, the pillar token will act as a form of barter. It is a more clear way to tokenize things that could be bartered, used as barter. Ethereum is kind of that way too. Although Ethereum is a tool. It is. I heard somebody. I think it was Max Kaiser referred to Ethereum as oil. If Bitcoin is gold and Litecoin is silver, then Ethereum is oil. It is needed to, everything we do these days relies on oil. All the business that gets done, from shipping to manufacturing to creating products. So Ethereum would be the oil, because that's the platform on which all these new startup businesses are attaching themselves to the blockchain technology through Ethereum. And I think that's a great analogy. They talked a little also in Max's latest discussion, it was a roundtable. They talked a little about, well, what should the price of Ethereum be? Because if it's not a cryptocurrency and it's not a traditional business, is there a range where it isn't too high and isn't too low? And Roger Ver came out and said, as more and more people adopt it, the price will go up. And that's my camp. I believe so, absolutely. I think a lot more people will be adopting the Ethereum way to attach to the blockchain, because a lot more industries are going to go blockchain. And they can't figure it out from the basis or start their own coin. It's so much easier to use the Ethereum network. So that would be the oil that will run all these crypto industries. And on top of that, I want to stress also that the companies that are being built on top of the Ethereum blockchain can easily surpass the market cap of Ethereum itself. Ethereum is the tool to get to the blockchain, and something like Veritasium, I think, will blow by the Ethereum market cap at some point as the business gets implemented. That's the other thing. All these tokenized businesses, how long do they take to come to market? A lot of them promised a lot of things in their ICO, but end up, where are they now? What are they doing? What steps are they taking? are they meeting their goals of when they're going to release their product? Companies like Salt, I think they're on track to release their product by the end of the year as they promised. I think it's today or tomorrow they release their tokens, and then they'll start trading on the major exchanges. Where they will go, I don't know. The last shares sold for $12.50. I think there's a lot of people who still want to get in because Salt did not advertise at all. It was part of, not becoming a security. They weren't allowed to advertise the way a lot of these ICOs were, advertised, because they are connected to the banking system, and it was important for them to do it, and I think they did it correctly. So a lot of people have never even heard of Salt, and all of a sudden it's going to pop up in the top 20 of the, as far as market cap, most likely, of the cryptocurrencies. And, it'll be traded, and a lot of people don't have any. So I think there'll be excitement around at least the beginning, and some people will try to take profits off, and it'll go up and down and up and down and up and down. And then the product will come out by the end of the year, and people will be trying to get their hands on some Salt so they can take out crypto-backed loans. So a lot to go on, I think, over the next few months with Salt. And I think they're on track. And that's the other thing. Reggie Middleton, I think he's on track. We should know any day about the Jamaican Stock Exchange implementation. I think why it's trading, Veritasium's trading at under $100, I don't know. It's a gift, if you ask me, because once the Jamaican Stock Exchange gets going, you can have almost every other stock exchange say, oh my God, this is drawing all the capital to the Jamaican Stock Exchange because it's peer-to-peer transactions. We need to get on this. Call that guy, Reggie Middleton, and get him over here for the comics and the LBMA and everything like that. So, yeah, very exciting times for Reggie and the Ethereum or the Veritasium platform, mainly because we're at that time. It's one of the first companies to come out and say, okay, we got a working product, and it's just going to snowball from there. So get your Salt once it starts trading. I don't know where it will end up. I'm not sure how it's calculated. I think 60 million coins have been sold in the pre-sale, 50 or 60 out of the 120 million. So I think the market cap is measured based on the amount of coins that are in circulation, the total potential that can be sold, times whatever the going price is. So if it's at $12.50, you have, let me grab my handy dandy calculator, which I did a lot of wrong calculations the other day. Sorry about that. 1250 times, I think it's 50 million. Would be $625 million market cap. So 625 puts it in the top 20, definitely. It would right now. It would put it at number 15 or 16. But do I think it'll be worth $40 or $50? Could very well be. If you run the numbers on what they can do potentially, I definitely see it rising. And as the cryptocurrency rises and the amount of tokens that are added to the Salt platform rises, what can't we tokenize? We can tokenize everything. So I think Salt is going to be a big winner, and it's going to be up and running this year. I still believe that they seem to be right on schedule. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's your morning update. Tokenization is kind of like barter in that you can take little pieces. You can tokenize a home builder, and you can tokenize a baker, and then exchange tokens with each other. And it facilitates barter, if you ask me. That was my thought this morning. It's Bix Weir. We'll talk to you later.